How you doing today? Good. That'll work. Let's get into it. The main thing is getting to the block. That's the hard part. You know, you want to shut it down because it's almost over with. Once you get to the block, man, you're all right. But that finish line, we haven't crossed it yet. So we got to keep pushing, man. Before I get out of here and give all, not before I get out of here. I'm ready to go already in the spirit. Damn. Before I get started, give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kakadash. And let's get into it. The war with Iran is out of control, man. And Trump and Netanyahu is causing a damn mess in the Middle East, man. His buddy Bibi. So they're gonna get everybody killed, man. you know, to be quite frank. This war hadn't even got started yet. They still in the foreplay mode, man. It's still foreplay right now. They're gonna get to the real pounding here soon, man. So as Trump said, man, they're gonna keep on going. He can't stop even if he wanted to. So it's beautiful, man. It is very beautiful. It's already starting to see shortages was looking at a video this morning down in South Florida. They run out of gasoline already, you know? And this is CBS News. The only thing they had was premium gasoline. Was it air gas? Already declaring force majeure. It's only just been a month, you know, before it kicked off. The shortages are already starting to show up. So imagine 3 months, 6 months. You know, it's gonna bring this economy to its knees, man. All what the bankers are planning. You know, they give you front men like Trump and Netanyahu, but behind the scenes it's the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and they ready for their new world order. They tired of seeing you people have shit, man. You know, like Klaus Schwab said, you're gonna own nothing and be happy, and you seeing that plan in motion right now. They're gonna starve you out, cut all your resources off, crash the economy, and say, "Hey, we got this digital currency for you now." You know, and you people just sleepwalking right into it. You know, just sleepwalking right into the trap. You know, so the Lord has sent this man out here to warn you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, what the deal is. What's coming down the pipe. But Jake don't want to hear it. First thing Jake talking about is who shiesty. Like, who gives a fuck about a poo shiesty? You got shortages, gasoline shortages, cost of goods about to increase, and a draft is on the way. And you worrying about a damn rapper. You know, you got to see your loved one get caught up in this draft, man. And the plan is already laid. If they send these ground troops into Iran to see this Clark Island, the movie's gonna start getting good, man. The movie's gonna really start getting good. You know, right now we're in that trying to figure out who the bad guy is, right? In the movie, you're like, oh, is it this guy? Is it that guy? Is it that chick? Is she the bad guy? You know, so we're in that phase right now. You know, but everything's about to be exposed, man. You know, for the man of the Lord, we already know what the deal is. But for you everyday people, you're gonna find out the hard way. You're gonna find out that your government has been lying to you. You know, if you don't know by now, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't know that your government is corrupt and lies to you, then I'm sorry for you. I can't make it. They can't make it any plainer. You know, that they killing it blind. It don't matter who in office, Democrats, because they all agree on one thing, and that's war. They all agree on war and stealing. You know, they all agree on that. So the Lord has sent us, like I said, man, to warn y'all what's going on, to observe the times. And this ain't the time to be thinking about Pooh Shiesty and what Boosie doing, man. But that's what my people into. Dumb shit. You know? They are well versed, you know? They scholars in bullshit. And that's why they ass is gonna get swept up into this war too. They're gonna be caught up in this famine, pestilence, and primarily Jacob's trouble. We're gonna get, which is all that is a part of Jacob's trouble. It's gonna get the martial law end of it. Or martial law is gonna be declared, and they just gonna kill you in the streets. Because Trump just said yesterday that hey, he ain't got time to be funding Medicare, Medicaid, and your daycare, man. It's time to go to war. You know, he said he ain't got time for his fucking liabilities and shit. He said he got to focus on the war. Man. We got to get in a war mode, a war footing, a war economy. So he said, "Damn your kids, man. They don't need any child care money. They got to buy these bullets." You know, he said, "Let the states take care of that shit. You're on the federal level. We got countries to steal, man. We got countries to steal and people to kill." And believe me, he can't do nothing else right, but he's doing that. He got that down. He all about that. And he said, guess what? Cuba next. So El Trumpo Taco is on a rampage, man. He's already 80, or about to hit 80 or 81 of them. So he know his days are numbered. He's trying to steal it all before he check out. You know, he trying to set Barron up before he leaves, man. And the rest of the leeches he got, all the juniors and the rest of the clowns, you know. But let's get into these scriptures. He, he is on a rampage and off the rails. He's off the rails. I don't even think he definitely not writing any speeches. He just freestyling. Saying whatever you want to say, just rambling. You know? He's become a rambler. You know, saying the same shit over and over. Just a recap. You know, you know how he addressed the nation. It's just a recap of all the bullshit he's been saying the previous weeks. So he has nothing new. There's no new energy. MAGA is dead. And it's all about war now. It's all about war. I mean, if you didn't know when he said it's the Department of War, I mean, he telling you what he's doing. Everybody thought he was joking. And the moment they changed their name, the moment them troops started getting mobilized and deployed.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was like a
So hey, let the good times roll. Let the good times roll. Let's go to Acts 3. As a matter of fact, let me get that Ecclesiastes. That was on my mind earlier. Spirit. Ecclesiastes 3 and 8. Ecclesiastes 3 and 8. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war. So, hey, man, this is a time of war, man. You know, the other side of the world is at each other's throats. Over here, you Americans is worrying about fucking dying eggs, man. People running from ducking bullets and shit on the other side of the world. You got Russia and Ukraine going at each other, well, pretending to go at each other. Fucking freak. You know, you got Russia and Ukraine pretending to fight each other. You got Iran, Yemen, U.S. and Israel. You know, going at each other. Oh yeah, even Saudi Arabia joined in. And then I saw a video what 2-3 days ago. They talking about what the Chechens about to join in on this war. So man, the world's gearing up for war, and you people worrying about Easter baskets. You know, you worrying about getting that damn dress so you can wear on church Sunday, man. Little do you know, everything around you is about to turn to shit. Fucking freak riding, taking pictures of me. Damn poser. It says, in a time of peace, there's no more peace, man. That peace season is out the window. You know, there's gonna be a time of peace when Yahweh shall come back and crack those clouds, man, and deliver his elect. And we put you heathens under subjection. Then we'll have peace. But until then, it's a time of war. You know, it amazes me how people are just clueless to what's going on. I mean, absolutely clueless. Nobody politicians don't care about stealing, man, because they know you Americans not gonna do anything but bitch and complain. You know, maybe march a little bit, go on the comment section and write some frosty comments or something. Like that chick, what's her name, Marjorie Green or something, MTG. She was like, "Hey, they don't give a damn about your comments, all these videos you make. They still going forward with their plans. They still, stealing left and right." You know, so they going for broke because the empire is dying. Hate to break the news to you, but the American empire is crumbling. You know, Rome is collapsing. New Rome is collapsing. You know, since you can't observe the times, We're at the end of an empire. You know, we're at the end of this, and this war with Iran is going to be the big trigger, man, to make it all come down. Let's go to Acts 3. So, like, give me a couple minutes. I got to regroup here. When I was reading it the other night, it sounded good, but I think I'm going to skip that. It's Acts 3. And verse 22. It's Acts 3 and 22. For Moses truly said unto the fathers, a prophet shall the Most High, your power, raise up unto you of your brethren. So Moses was saying, hey, the Most High, your power is going to raise up a prophet that comes, pretty much out of your nation, man, your brother, a brother of yours. Let's go on. It's like unto me, so just like Moses, we coming in that same spirit, man, warning you of what's to come. But today, we telling you about the new Pharaoh, and believe me, the new Pharaoh has seen us on YouTube. They well aware of who we are. So just like Moses went in there and stood boldly before Pharaoh, we're doing the same thing, man. Men like-minded like myself. With him shall you hear in all things whatsoever he shall say unto you. So yeah, you should be listening to everything that I'm saying. Because hey, I'm a watchman for one. The Most High has given me the spirit to watch over you and warn you. Most important, to warn you on what's to come and what you need to do to turn back to your power. What you need to do to get in good graces with the Most High. Let's go on. It says, and it shall come to pass that every soul which will not hear that prophet shall be destroyed from among the people. And you seeing that today. Y'all asses are being killed from among the people, man. You could just go to any city on YouTube here in America, man. Just pull up a city. See this person killed, that person killed, on and on. And I'm talking about you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. You see y'all as we can put to death. Because you don't have an excuse. Like scripture, you have no cloak for your sins, man. You can't say, oh, I never heard the Bible. I never read it for myself. I never seen the man of the Lord on the highways and the byways. See the man of the Lord. You can't use that for an excuse, boy. Or you running prophets on YouTube. If you want to listen to the man of the Lord on the highways and the byways, hey, the Lord said you gotta get out of here, man. You gotta send your ass up to the spirit. Verse 24. Yeah, and all the prophets from Samuel, and those that follow after, as many as I have spoken, many as have spoken, have likewise foretold of these days. So yeah, just like the prophets after Samuel, man, up until today, telling you about the perilous times that's coming, the ill, bad, evil days, and we're in the midst of. Like I said, you can just go type in fucking Minnesota, Minneapolis, or something, fucking Cleveland, Ohio, whatever city, it don't matter, Vegas, and you're gonna see all the murders, the rapings, whatever you want to call it, man. It's some weird stuff going on in Babylon. I was talking about this one guy. He said a voice just told him to kill him, man. It was like 5 people he shot in the head. That a voice just told him that, hey man, just kill him. So that's what's going on out here in the streets. You know, the Lord's giving a lot of people a lot of headshots lately. Hey, they say it's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of the Most High, man. You know, it's a very fearful thing because you don't know how you're gonna take your ass out of here. You know, a so-called black woman, nigger woman, she got mauled to death by some dogs the other day. You know, she had a surgery. She was talking for a little bit. The next few days, her ass was dead. You know, I say dog mauling, being shot, stabbed. It's a lot going on today. You know, a lot. No, it's so much. I can't even name it all. You know, I get wrapped up in so many videos. People just get put to death. It's like unreal. You know, it's something like out of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, man. But in every city going on. You know, it got so much. I just had to turn it off one night. I'm like, that's enough YouTube, because it's like endless amounts of videos, of people just being shot, killed, stabbed to death. No, you just have to unplug sometimes, man. You know, so I switch over to the war, man. You know, I started watching some missile porn, man. You know, I like the missiles being shot off. You know, so I switch over to that. You know, it's nothing like seeing a hypersonic missile come crashing through somebody's fucking building. My eyes light up with excitement. You know how when you was a kid, you used to go under the tree and unwrap that present on Christmas morning? How your eyes light up all bright? Well, it's the same thing with me, man. When I see a missile, a hypersonic missile just strike some shit over in Israel, man. You know? You know, when I see the Iranians get they shit blasted, man. You know, because I got no favorite in that war. It's just whoever gets the job done. You know? I'm like, whoever can cause the most carnage, that's whose side I'm on at that moment. You know, I'm team Yasser Allah, man. Team Israel, man. Whatever it takes for this fucking wicked kingdom to go down, I'm all for it. You know? If it takes World War III, I'm all for it. Man. Which is gonna come to pass. You know, but hey, whatever it takes for me to get on top, I'm green lighting it. Just green light it. Lord, I just say it's time for the Most High to work, man. And he's working, man. He's working throughout the earth. Mhm. He's working throughout the earth. And he really got his angels working that war over in Iran right now, stirring the minds of Netanyahu and Trump, man. And it's better than any kind of movie I done paid to watch, man. It's better than any movie I done paid to watch. You know, and when I say me, I'm talking about the nation of Israel. Whatever it takes for us to get on top. You know, because this whole being on the bottom, that shit don't feel good. I don't like losing. Man. You know, we've been losing way too long. It's not a good feeling. You know, so whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes. You know, I've turned into a damn addict looking for. You know, I'm jumping, see what Russia talking about, seeing what Iran talking about, seeing what Israel talking about, the U.S. I'm like, more, more. Inside chick. You know, more destruction. So let's go on. It's Acts 3 and 25. You are the children of the prophets and of the covenant which the Most High made with your fathers. So here it is in the New Testament saying, hey, we still under that covenant. You know, because these pastors love to say, oh, the law done away with. You know, oh, Jesus came and we don't have to do that anymore. But they love to pass that collection plate talking about tithes. So that's in the law. They want to do away with that. You know, and they treat Sunday as a day of rest. That's in the law, having a day of rest. Seventh day. They don't do away with that one. So who's lying here, man? I'm gonna say it's your dirtbag pastor, man, the preacher. He's a damn liar, a damn scumbag. You know? Somebody said they're a Christian, man. I started looking at them even harder. I'm like, I'm watching like a damn thief. know, because a Christian, they'll do any and everything, man. You know, they'll do anything, bro. You know, they just doing whatever hell they want to do. They'll make up something. You know, they'll twist the scriptures. You know, and they sit up there like they so holy, but the whole time they molesting kids, man. So I keep my eyes even harder on when somebody say they're a Christian. I'd rather deal with a damn criminal. At least I know where he's coming from. But a Christian, man, it's like picking up a double-headed cobra, man. You're gonna get bit sooner or later. And I don't think they're gonna say, "Oh, you gotta forgive me," or "Jesus, Lord, please forgive me." You know, they can fuck you over, steal your money, molest your kids, and they're gonna say, "Oh, forgive me." Well, you know, steal your wife from you. You know, they do all this in the church, and then they say, "Oh, you gotta forgive me." Like hell, I do. We gonna get even. Then, you know, we gonna get even first. Say two wrongs don't make a right, but it sure make it even though. You know, two wrongs don't make it right, but it make it even. So there's a covenant. There's a covenant still in effect. Like the scriptures say, man. The one you ignorantly called Jesus said, "Hey, he has not given you a license to sin." You know, and even Paul said, "No, we still keep the law." So why don't they teach that in church? You know, why they keep saying that there's no law? You know, you could just freestyle, man. Because these people you go in and hand all your money over to every week, numbered a bunch of crooks, a school talking pimp. You know, pimps in the pulpit. That's all they are. It says, "Made with our fathers, saying unto Abraham, and in thy seed shall all the kindreds of the earth be blessed." Yeah, of Israel, man, will be blessed. You know, right now we're under these curses, but we're gonna be under those blessings here soon, man. This place is circling the drain, like George Carlin said. This place is circling the drain. Right, look at it. You know, George Carlin is on to something. You know, welcome to the richest third world country on the planet. You know, this is the richest third world country on the planet. Just take a ride all over the city. You can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, you can take a ride anywhere, and you see the infrastructure just crumbling. The the degeneracy that goes on that you see every day. People are turning to straight degenerates. You know, and it's sick. It's sickening to look at. It's like it's almost impossible to see somewhat of a normal person. You know, fucking piercings all over the place, tats all over the place. You know,
We all went in 40 minutes all the way.
fucking
It's
degenerate.
freaking hot. You like this? Yeah.
You know, and like if you scroll back and you watch old videos, like people how you used to dress in the 40s and the 50s, you know, they actually cared about their appearance, man. You know, 70s up to early 90s, people still somewhat cared the way they looked when they went out. Now you go out today, you know, like they crawled out of a damn dumpster. I saw some guy today, got two piercings in his lip. Like he just slept on the couch all night and just walked to the store, man. Like he ain't had a shower in days. You know? You know, and you see these chicks, man. They, you know, they got them damn septum rings in their nose. I saw a chick with shit all that shit pierced from one end to the other. Tattoos all over the place. You know, it's just more signs of morally bankrupt people, man. And that normally happens at the end of an empire. Stealing, the thuggery. You know, I added that in there. The thuggery. You know? It's just at the end, man. Nobody can come back from this. Who can come back from this? I don't care how many slogans you chant. I mean, you're gonna get some new faces in the politics or whatever. It's over. It's over. Trump was the last hope. Like what's his name? Jesse Lee Peterson said, he's the last great white hope, man. He's like the white Obama, you know? Yeah, Obama hoodwinked the so-called Negroes, or Trump hoodwinked and bamboozled the so-called white people, man. You know? You know? And it's just that simple. So it goes to show you, it don't matter who you get in office, they all gonna fuck you, man. You all gonna get fucked. You know, one day you people gonna wake up and realize, hey, it's the rich or the have and the have-nots, and that's it. There's no people talking about, oh, I'm a patriot. You know, they get up there like Trump holding the flag. You don't give a damn about that flag, man. You know, they all wear those lapels with the flag on them. It's all a act, all a act. You know, they get up there, you know, and swear they love the truth. That's another one they use too. They don't give a shit about the truth unless they going to war for them. That's it. If we can't be used, then they just ball you up like a piece of trash and they just throw you away, man. The scriptures speak about how a soldier, when he comes back to war, how he's supposed to be paid up. Man. Bible talks about, they're supposed to be well to do, but not here. You know, that they treat you like a third class citizen if you're a vet. You know, they won't even give you your free health care, man. You gotta damn near kill somebody to get BC. But that's what happens when sleazy E's in charge. You get shit like this. So when we come out and say, hey man, the earth is gonna go back to, well, not the whole earth, but we eventually everybody's gonna be affirming the law, statute, and commandments of the scripture of his Bible. You know? Well, you don't have, the scriptures tell you to keep a certain amount out for the poor, man. Here it is, these grocery stores, they rather throw all the food away than mark it down or just give it away. They give some to food banks, but they throw a whole lot away. They just dump all kind of food in those dumps in the back, man. Refuse to sell it cheap. Like, oh, we can get sued. Or you prepare and sell in advance so you don't get sued, idiot. You know? I mean, the shit got expiration dates. It's telling you when it's going to expire. But they use all kind of excuses not to feed the people, man. You know? In our laws, man, in our laws, there's, we kept a certain amount of the crops just to feed the poor. And if your brother, is pretty much poor, you help him out. You restore that brother. But not here, man. Not none of these laws. They tell you pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Or the whole time they stealing, they running out the back door with the money. I think a number came out. They wasted like $20 trillion over those past few wars. You know what that money could have done, man? 20 trillion dollars. It shouldn't be a homeless person out here at all. Everybody mortgage should be paid. 20 trillion. And that one sleazy in charge. You know, he better blow it all, man, and give it to you. You know, and after that whole big old talk, he was oh, when they was bringing up the reparations, they're like, oh, we don't have the money for it. Oh, we don't have the money for it. And then it came out, they just blew $20 trillion. And this man's a scumbag. So Edom is a damn scumbag, bro. But hey, he's doing what he's supposed to do. You know, he's the perfect devil, man. The perfect one. The most I created a perfect devil, man. You know, so you can't get upset at him because hey, he's just doing his job. He's doing what he was programmed to do. Lie, steal, cheat, kill, and and anything else, man. Lies, treachery, and deceit. You know, so if he wasn't doing that, like, oh, something wrong. But if he was lying, stealing, and killing, hey man, it wouldn't be sleazy evil. It wouldn't be him. So like I said, he has lied. He done drummed up another war now. But this might be the last one. You know? Whenever they announce World War III, we know we almost out of here. We know we almost out of here. You know, we waiting for North Korea to slide on in there. China, Russia. It's supposed about how Russia's gonna be a guard unto Iran. And they slowly trying to be that guard, man, sending the Chechens in there. You know, they said they waiting on the word from Putin. You know, so soon we're gonna have us a World War III, man. You know, official. You know, it's gonna be officially World War III, man. Because is it Lukashenko? I forget his name though. But he's the president of Belarus, and you know he met with North Korean leader Kim Jong Un, right? He said, "Hey, we're gonna stick together, man. To watch out and prepare for the enemy." And we all know who they talking about. Anybody with half a brain know who the hell they talking about. They talking about the U.S. So they teaming up. So they both gonna enter into that World War III, man. Well, like I said earlier, hey man, this war ain't even got started yet. You know, it's still in the foreplay right now. We about to see some real fireworks here soon. Verse 26. Uh, let's change that up because the spirit keep having me to go talk about this war. You know, I'm all about it. You know, the spirit keep pulling me over to this war. I might just jump to the scriptures about this war. Let's get Ezekiel 7, verse 5. This says the Most High power and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. And end is come, the end is come. It watches for thee, behold, it is come. So yeah, we're at the end, man. What's his name? Nathaniel C.J. Rothschild sent out a tweet saying the end is near. You know, even he can see the times. You know, he's saying it's near. Well, you know, he's on the left hand side of this, you know, because they all consort with demons and Baphomet and worship Satan. And what's that other Baal? Yeah, they worship that thing too, Molech. So he put out a tweet saying the end is near. So he ain't saying nothing that the man of the Lord don't already know. Because we know Iran is a big part of prophecy, very big part of prophecy. And Israel has already said, well, not Israel, Pete Hegseth said, hey, they trying to speed up the coming of the Lord by doing this war. You know, here it is, these people are in charge. And they talking about they trying to speed up the coming of the Lord, who they ignorantly call Jesus. And so they're not stopping. Like I said, they balls to the wall on this. They committed. You know, Israel believes, not all of Israel, but rabbis believe, you know, that this war gets so bad. You know, I'm roughly paraphrasing, but it'll get so bad that the Lord will come back and defend Israel. So you got a lot of things in motion with this war. You know, so they thinking by this war being turned up, they're gonna usher in Yahweh Shah. But what they don't know is it's not just a war. There's a key part of prophecy that got to take place first. And they missing the main ingredient. You know? They missing the main ingredient in order for it to happen. And that's the MOTV, man, the mark of the beast. That's got to take place first before the Lord returns. Not just the war. So when that happens, when everybody's going to be made to do it mandatory, where it's going to be mandatory, then you know after that, it won't be long for the Lord return. You know? It won't be long. Shit, I'm at an hour already. Spirit rolling. Keep it rolling. You know? So the mark of the beast has to take place first before he comes back. We getting closer and closer. Let's read that over. This is Ezekiel 7 and 6. And end is come, the end is come. It watches for thee, behold, it is come. So yeah, we're at the end of the end. So hey man, live it up. Max your credit cards up. Go get that equity loan. You want that new convertible, go get it. Live it up. But this is the end. You know? Go splurge. Go splurge on yourself. Oh, daughter, eat them. Go rejoice, man, because this is it. And then, speaking of the evil times, you got this chick, Laura Loomer, talking about, oh, she feel that another 9/11 type attack is about to happen. She said she feel it real strongly. Believe me, she don't feel nothing. She telling you about what's to come, man. She's I wouldn't say let's just say she's an insider. Put it like that. But she's supposedly predicting a new terrorist attack worse than September 11th, man. She's like, oh, she feel it in her bones. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you feel it in your bones. Who knows what the wicked elite gonna do to get you people to jump on Trump's bandwagon about this war, man. Right now, it's very unpopular. His base is turning on him. So he got to do something to get them poll numbers up. If he got to kill some American people to do it, we're going to damn well do it. If you're going to have a city block with a suitcase nuke go up or a dirty bomb, you're going to fucking let it happen. Because those poll numbers are in the dumpsters right now. They went off a cliff right now, man. So they got to get something to get you on board with this war, to make you want to say, hey, just go in Iran and kill everybody over there. That's what they need. So they just waiting on the perfect opportunity, man. I don't know, maybe a bomb, a drone attack. Who knows, man? Who knows what they got in store? But it's not good. You can count on that. But it's not good. And once that happens, the people gonna get on his side, man. They're gonna, oh yeah, let's go into Iran, let's take them out. The whole time you got played again. Hook, line, and sinker, man. Or whether he's gonna have the troops go into Cargill and get slaughtered, or a terrorist attack, man. They're working all kind of angles right now. And what was that thing? Man, oh what? Lord have mercy. And these motherfuckers want this shit to go on, man. This shit gotta come through. Lord. This second Esdras 6 and 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first? Over and the beginning of it that follows. Verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, symbolizing Jacob is going to pull Esau down in the end times. Man. We're seeing his ass being pulled down as we speak. You know, Esau is ruling right now. So Jake is going to pull him down at the end. Meaning you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. And who's going to be able to do it? None other than your Howard Shop. He's going to come take Esau and eat a so-called white man out of power. He's going to come back on those so-called UFOs, and he's going to get busy in this World War III that's going to take place in the Middle East. You know? And he's going to come deliver the elect. You know, he's going to be delivering and killing, man. You know, he's not coming and bringing fucking Easter baskets, you know, and little bunnies, man. A so-called black man is coming back to redeem his people. The elect. And then, hey, when one king goes down, another one takes his place. A new empire takes his place. And it ain't China either. It ain't Russia. It ain't China. It's the nation Israel, man. We got nicks. Like they say, we got nicks. You know? The underdog got nicks. And we're going to have it forever, man. You know, once we get that rulership again, it's over. It's over. Like the scripture say, like forever and ever and ever. Me. So it's gonna be one rulership, man. Sort of like a dictatorship on the planet. We ain't voting for that, you know. I don't think we might vote on whose daughter we gonna get that night, you know. We might cast some lots one night. Yeah, I want that woman right there, you know. I want this one over there. Then a brother be like, nah, man, I wanna. Like, come on, I tripping, you know. All right, let's vote on it. Let's do a vote. Let's cast a lot, you know. Let's flip a coin for this bitch, right? We're gonna go back to a manly kind of God, a manly rulership. You know, we're gonna have a fake vote. Who think this brother should have her, you know, as a wife or a concubine? Or you think this brother should have, you know? Have a few other brothers like, oh, I vote that, you know, I get it. You know, which we're not gonna do that. If we wanted to, it's gonna happen that way. And nobody's gonna be able to tell us no. You know, you women got the right to say no now, but in the kingdom of heaven, it's gonna be all about the Israelite man. And we ain't taking the word no for that. You know? Y'all gonna bow down to us, man. You know? Because living in America and Babylon, y'all got soft. You know, everybody's soft now, man. They got that feminine spirit on. So we're gonna go back to that manly ruling shit type mentality, man. And say you niggas been in Babylon too long, you know? What's that clip saying? That nigga soft. They start busting out laughing. You know, y'all gotten soft, gone weak. So the Lord's gonna put that spirit back on his men, starting with the elect first, and that Conan-like spirit. You know, we see something, we're gonna take it, man. And we're gonna dare you to say something about it, man. We're gonna wish a heathen would stand up to us in that day, man. It's gonna be off with your head. You know? And if we get mad enough, we might just wipe your whole damn family out, man. That's what it's gonna be. And you ain't gonna be able to call, you know, dial 911. You got to call up the UN. It's gonna be none of that, man. It's gonna be the nation of Israel on top and everybody else on the bottom. And believe me, you gonna know an Israelite when you see one. See all that? That's gonna go away in the kingdom of heaven. So-called black people ain't gonna be born to a goddamn so-called white man. That's going away. His ass going up in that field. You know? All that bed wenching is gonna be done away with on this side. They ain't gonna have no bed wenches in our nation, man. Your lust for the so-called white man is gonna die on this side, man. Because you know a lot of you so-called black women fucking die being a bed wench. You know? So your bed wenching fetish is gonna go away, man. You're gonna get under a so-called black man or so-called Latino, or so-called Native American. And that's the damn deal. You know? You know, so hey man, I'm gonna close out on that. You know? Hey bro. We almost out of here, man. You just gotta hang on and watch this play out. You know, we know how the story goes. You know, all the true, true believers, the elect, we know how the story goes, how it ends. We just gotta keep watching and praying, man. You know? Gotta watch and pray that, you know, that the most shorten the days, like he said he's gonna do, man. Shorten these days and come get us the hell out of here. You know? Come deliver the elect. You know? And put our enemies under our feet where they belong. You know? And rule with two iron fists. You know, so hey man, like I said, we gotta continue to watch and pray and hold fast to which he coming. Because hey, believe this, we seeing prophecy unfold, and it ain't really got started yet, man. It ain't really got started. The ball starting to roll. We just got to keep our eyes on those few major prophecies, man. Jacob's trouble, martial law, mark of the beast, and the destruction. That's it. When the nukes get shut off, man. When World War III goes thermonuclear, man, we'll be out of this bitch, man. We'll be out of here. And like old boy said on Boondocks, man, then we gonna be free, man. Then we gonna be free. And I'm gonna go ahead and close it out before I get out of here. Give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakapadash. Shalom.